Hi, my beautiful brothers and sisters. This is Mary Hernandez with Genesis Kingdom, Part 2. And today's title, I pick elements. And in the description of the Bible verse, I put the stars, the sun, the moons, and the planets. Because those are considered all elements that science calls neutrons. And it's also, if you look it up and do elements, I thought I'll do this real quick with you. Elements. Meaning in the Bible meaning, and it actually pulled out some pretty good ones. It says, everything in creation is made 5 elements: earth, fire, sky, water, and air. It says, and they are pillars of God's creation, right? Through modern science, and this is like going in, this one brings you to, there are 4 elements of God. And then this is like when you could like do the drop down. So then it brought me in, and you also have to use your wisdom and discernment. You're doing Bible research, you're reading elements, and then you see that it talks about moons and stars and who they worship, the sun, the moon, and read the Bible verse and pretty much tell you there were gods that they were sacrificing. Those are idols. And it says, through modern scientists might dismiss this elements of air, water, which they don't. They actually call it. And remember in school, I know this is going to bring a memory because it did to me. I was like, oh my God. There's like lies, okay? It says, well, they label it that. It says, the elements are the air, the water, the fire, and earth. Earth, wind, and fire, right? An agent, right? Science, dogma. If you Google Domag, that was an ungodly god. I mean, you see him like, he's evil. And you see him, right? Science, dogma. Read it. It says exactly just like that. Google science, dogma, or just do dogma. But that's also in the Bible. It's he's an ugly one. I just can't get out of it right now because I'm reading this to you. So science, dogma, so you'll know. The character of this elements seem to be of varied ones used by modern science, the 4 keys of dimensions: space, time, energy, and mass. Do you remember that? Mass, and you think, oh wow, you know what I'm saying? Isn't that, but that's what science kind of label it, to make it sound like, oh wow, science did mass and matter and planet, and they found this planet, they found that. No, God created all that. They just patent their name on it, kind of like saying, well, science did it. Science discovered this, like Christopher Columbus, and Christopher Columbus went to slaughter. So, I will never celebrate Thanksgiving. I will look in the Jewish calendar, maybe when my father has to do that, because they slaughtered the Indians. They went in there and they killed them and took territory. And then they put a flag in there and said, we discovered, Christopher Columbus discovered America. Bullshit. You know what I'm saying? They killed a lot of Indians. You know what I'm saying? It was wrong what they did. For a lot of times the Bible has been tainted to where people were idolizing other idols. And even our people, our ancestors that go way back from the beginning, as it goes to creation. The creator started with Adam and Eve, period. He made the earth. That's when it all started. Regardless, what I'm saying, my point is that even with the tribes, of Indian, the only difference that we all started doing, we all shunned God, the creator of the ends of the earth, and even Indians and other, God's people, the world. We have even Catholics have, the Virgin Mary, and they pray to it. We're idolizing that. Yes, if you want to have it, no, actually, you're supposed to get rid of it because a lot of people idolize it, and you're not supposed to. You know what I'm saying? Nothing of idols, not even if you have a Buddhist, all that is, you idolize that. You know what I'm saying? The whole world was tainted into believing Buddhist and, yoga, and you meditate. When you read the Bible, it says meditate on this Bible verses. The way the Buddhist meditate, they go, and I know you've seen it kind of like where they get Indian style and they do this. And what it is, it's almost like they go into a trance and like astral project type of thing. And they do. I saw it, you know. They go in there and that's how they go kind of into deep meditation and almost like they could transform into anything and be in your living room while they're still there. That's a demonic entity that they have. This is the demonic world. It was Buddhist. You know, everything that we idolize, dogma, all that. You know, they pray to the sun, they pray to the moon, all that they're idolizing. It's evil. You know, all of it. Even when Indians sit there and, you know, it's beautiful. Their music is so beautiful. But they sit there and they pray to other gods. There is no other. There is no other. But the only true creator of heaven and earth, you know? And all of it is in there. If you sit there and you do some study, you know, and I know you know that because I remember in school, like, oh, mass, you know, matter, energy, like, oh my God, you know, science is so great. You know, they were putting like elements, kings, ungodly gods, and kind of like calling, oh, that's the sun, that's the moon, that's the energy, that's the wind, that's the earth. They were all gods. They were entities, demonic entities, terrestrials, like truly. E.T. is cute compared to what this demonic really looks like, the woman and the man. They look like incubus. Have you ever seen incubus? And Lilith is really a demonic person. You know, she really is. You know how they try to make it look like Mary Magdalena named herself Lily? She never did. Ever did. She went by Lala. That's what she went by. You know, because of the rape and stuff that she went through while she was out there. You know, she went through a lot. You know, Lilith is an ungodly person, a demonic incubus. They're evil entities of this world. You know, but they try to make everything that God's children are in there, like make it look like they're bad. They're this. But nobody's saying how they made a covenant with Satan and with the harlots of Satan. And it tells you on there. Lamb sent them. The fallen Adam already became an ungodly angel. He was evil. And he sent them, go throw yourself at the kings so they don't come into a covenant marriage with the daughters. And it's all in there. All of it is backed up in Bible verses. But they turn blind eye to that, but they'll preach about how bad the daughters were. Yeah, we were bad. Yeah, we sin. We all sin. We're playing harlot. That's what he was saying to the man and to the woman. Stop playing harlots to the man. Stop playing harlots to the woman. Because we were being for sale. We were in captivity. We were still slaves to a demonic system. Why do you think Joseph had to ask for permission if he could go bury his dad? Why, if he was such a king? Because we were under captivity. So we still had to ask. We still had to do this. And the only way to become free, because we're already free when we left Egypt, is by stop bowing down to the beast system, to sin. You know, it tries fighting for your soul. Again, it's all in here. You know? And this is just a couple of things so you can see what the elements, you know, in what the world we tried, you know, there's a bunch, you know, like us, how they try to word it for the elements. And this is just for you to look, for you to get more of what that Bible verse means, you know, and why your bones, especially when you have cleansed yourself, how much your bones, rather you're anointed or you're a Gentile. But once you cleanse yourself, man, you're high. So out of nowhere, sin is going to come knocking on your door because it's trying to fight for your soul. Repent, and don't give into it. You know, if you have people that are hanging out, and even if, like what I did when I was out there praying over them in the park, you know, I would get asked, hey, come and sit with us, you know. But I did. First, I didn't trust them because, you know, I knew the attacks and whatnot that they were trying to do. But mainly it was because I was, even though I knew I was a recovery still from opiates, you know, from fentanyl blues, I knew that I wasn't going to put myself in a predicament to go around them. Not because I thought I was any better, because if I thought that, I wouldn't have been praying for them. I wouldn't be stopping, hey, you know, you would like a prayer? Are you okay? You know, I still talk to them because my Father put me there for them, to pray over them. He loved his children, and he loves this world. That's why he has me still showing up and praying to you. This is just for you to do some research. So I start in 2 Kings 23. 2 Kings 23, of course. It says, surely there is not a hold in such password from the days of judges and judge Israel, nor the days of the king of Israel, nor the kings of Judah. But the 18th year of King Josiah, wherein the Passover of the holden Lord in Jerusalem. Moreover, the workers are with familiar spirits and the wizards and the images of idols and all abominations that were spied in the line of Judah, in the land of Judah. In Jerusalem did Josiah put away that he might perform the words of the Lord, which were written in the book of Hezekiah. The priests found the house of the Lord, and like unto there was no king before him, and they turned to the Lord with all his heart, and with all their souls, and with all his might. It says, and according to all the law of Moses, but neither after they arose there were like him. Notwithstanding, the Lord turned not away from the fierceness of the great wrath, wherein his anger kindled against Judah, because all the provocations that Manasseh had provoked him within all. The Lord and all that is the Lord said, I will remove Judah also out of my sight. I have removed Israel. I will cast the city of Jerusalem when I have chosen the house in which I said, my name shall be there. He did that. He did it because we were sinning. We were idolizing other things. So he turned away. He pulled it back and he said, all right, well then no. He pulled back, and you probably thought that you were still getting blessed by God. It wasn't from God. It was from a demonic entity that was still doing it because you were doing his work, not God's work. So God wasn't blessing that. You thought he was? What did it say? He pulled away because of that. Now the rest of the acts of Josiah and all that he did, they were written in the book of Chronicles, the kings of Judah. In these days, Pharaoh Necho, king of Egypt, went up against the king of Isaiah in the river of the Ephraimites. The king of Josiah went against him and slew him at Mendigo. It says, and when he had seen him, his servants carried the chariot of dead from Mendigo and brought him into Jerusalem, buried him in his own sepulchre, and the people that looked in Josiah, the son of Jehoshaphat, anointed him and made him king over the father's stead. Jehoahaz was 23 years old when he began to reign. And the mother's name was Hamutal, the daughter of Jeremiah of Libnah. And he did which was evil in the sight of the Lord, according to all the father had done. Pharaoh Necho put the bands of Riblah in the land of Hamath, the night not rain. Oh, you demonic entities. I bind them and rebuke them back to the pits of hell. I have to do part 4.